Hey y'all, and welcome back. So, today we are going to do a slapped hand video. It is titled, These Scary Videos Watch You While You Sleep. I really hope they don't watch us while we sleep because I want to be a little bit weird, but with that, let's get started. But, I just remembered before we move on to everything, I want y'all, let y'all know, I was sitting here doing some thinking after doing the whole incarceration video for y'all about the paranormal and everything like that. And I was wondering if y'all would like for me to go sometimes and maybe go to haunted locations so y'all can see, take some videos and things like that instead of just pictures. I mean, I might take some pictures and everything like that, but I was thinking more like video and see what y'all think about that. And let me know in the comments. Hit me up and maybe I can get some of this set up. I have some ideas for some places, but just let me know if y'all would be interested in that. Well, anyway, you know what? Let's get on with this video, alright?
In this video, Reddit user IcyMaintenance7511 shares their experience of several unexplained events that have recently occurred on their property. Having moved to a remote town in northern Italy in search of tranquility, the poster was initially charmed by a quaint wooden house. The allure of peace and fresh air seemed perfect until inexplicable disturbances began to shatter the calm. A few weeks into their stay, the nights were interrupted by eerie sounds emanating from the attic. Thumps, creaks, and unsettling noises that sounded like someone dragging something up there. Initially dismissed as the natural settling of an old house, the sounds grew increasingly intense, prompting the new homeowner to capture what was happening on video as a form of validation. The situation finally escalated in an incident that drove the poster to temporarily leave their home and stay with a friend. This is the footage they captured. A strange thumping sound seems to be coming from above. Not long after, an eerie tapping can be heard. These strange sounds prompt the poster to climb a ladder and cautiously peek inside of the attic. Take a look at what happens next. Watching that again, a chair moves as if pulled by some sort of unseen force. The video then cuts off abruptly after leaving their camera in the attic. The poster remains shaken, their dream of a peaceful rural life now haunted by unexplained occurrences in their attic.
Now, these type of videos always get me. Now, you see, we are hearing a lot of thumping, moving around. It literally sounds like somebody is up in the attic, walking about and everything like that. So, I'm just wondering, he says it's a rural area in Italy. Now, I know everywhere in the world probably might have squatting problems and things like that because let's be honest, homelessness happens everywhere. Unfortunately, I mean, I wish there was a way that things could be changed for something like that. But at the end of the day, I'd be more concerned about human as opposed to paranormal in this instance. I mean, honestly, if those were the sounds that they, she, I don't know who it was because I really didn't see any real, like, body parts and things like that from this person who was viewing who's creating the video, I should say. Anyway, I mean, if those were the sounds they were hearing, I would never assume that that was a house settling. I've been in old houses. They do creak. They do a little moaning. It's nothing. But that right there, that is more than a house settling. That sounded human weight. It didn't even sound like a raccoon, rat, squirrel, anything. That sounded human weight. And it was just this whole thing. You even go up into the attic part. It didn't even almost look like an attic. It almost looked like a loft, right? For somebody, staying around and everything like that. How they had the bed, the chairs, everything was nice and clean. It's not like an attic like I'm normally used to seeing as an attic. So, honestly, and then that chair moving in the end, that table had a tablecloth on it or a dust cloth on it to keep dust from forming on it. And somebody could be hiding under there, and the reason why they probably moved the chair in the first place is to scare the shit out of the person that was filming over there. They give maybe the appearance of it being haunted because at the end of the day, you really couldn't see somebody moving anything over there. But the strength and aggression that it had when it was moving kind of more indicates to me that, because since we can't see under the table and everything, this person may have a frogging incident in their home, and that's pretty concerning. Honestly, if I was them, I would contact the local police force and have them check out the house. I'd find a way where, like, call them or something like that from the house, because that would give the person upstairs a little heads up that somebody might be coming in, and then they beat feet out of there. But this right here, I'd find some way to get the local law enforcement involved with this, because that could be highly concerning in my opinion. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, shall we?
I'm Savannah.
This next video was uploaded to the TikTok account elkukui.tv. As this girl begins to update her followers on her relationship status, she seems to inadvertently capture something quite strange on camera. Watch.
There forever. You didn't just see something come in here?
You can see an unnerving figure walk by in the background. Shaken, the girl immediately checks the bedroom where the figure seemingly went. However, there's no one there. She then asks her boyfriend if he saw something enter the room, to which he replies no. If you slow the footage down, you can see that the mysterious figure has dark hair and a ghostly complexion. Since hitting the internet, the clip has gone viral, amassing over 2 million views. Yet, as is often the case with clips like this, there's always a chance that it was staged in order to get recognition. So, does this video really show a ghost? Unfortunately for now, we just don't know.
You didn't just see something come in here?
I like how he mentioned about it being staged and for recognition. For one, if this was something that was truly happening, it didn't seem like it would have been. You know what I mean? And okay, she was doing this for TikTok. What's concerning to me is, why are there multiple angles of camera views? Unless she's got some sort of presence within the TikTok community, I'm not getting the fact that there was multiple people there with cameras and things like that. The whole thing screams staged to me, in 100% honesty. He said ghostly image, dark hair, ghostly complexion, whatever. I'm sorry, there are a lot of people who are pale. Let's put it simply. There are a lot of people who are pale. So, I mean, this right here, it just feels staged. There's no real scare factor for me. There's no real shock value to me. She didn't seem as shocked as somebody would have been if this really truly happened. You know what I mean? It just feels staged. Simple as that. Staged, 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 and staged. So, yeah, I mean, there's nothing more I can really say about it. It just, the whole acting was kind of subpar, in my opinion, for everybody involved with the whole thing. I mean, did you see somebody come by? No. It's just like, I would have been like a little bit more from the boyfriend or whoever he might have been. But what are you talking about? Like, everybody's here. I don't see anybody missing. What are you talking about? Somebody, you would have had more lead into, to try to exactly figure out what's going on. That's just my personal opinion. Anyway, let's just move on before I start going down that rabbit hole, all right?
This next photo was sent to the Chilling Scary Facebook page. Take a look at what's been captured. The OP says that they saw this weird figure on the grounds of Pennsylvania State University on May 15th, 2023. They mentioned that they don't know anything about cryptids and wanted to ask the group what they thought the figure might be. As usual, viewers came up with several theories, including the possibility that it could be an alien or even an elemental. Penn State University and the surrounding area in Pennsylvania are ripe with stories of paranormal sightings. The historic Schwab Auditorium on the University Park campus is said to be haunted by multiple ghosts, including that of Charles Schwab, who funded the auditorium's construction. Paranormal activity, such as unexplained noises, ghostly figures, and malfunctioning equipment, are commonly reported by students and visitors. The old botany building is reportedly haunted by the ghost of Frances Atherton, wife of former Penn State President George Atherton. Her face is sometimes seen peering out of the windows, and she's said to watch over her husband's grave across the street. In the broader area, the borough of Gettysburg is known for the pivotal and bloody battle of the Civil War and is often considered one of America's most haunted areas. Sightings of ghostly soldiers, hearing the sounds of battles and cries, and encountering mysterious figures are common experiences for visitors. Pennsylvania is also home to several well-known UFO incidents. One of the most famous occurred in the small village of Kecksburg, where a large acorn-shaped object reportedly crashed in the woods. Witnesses claim that the object bore strange hieroglyphic-like symbols, and the area was quickly cordoned off by military personnel. Although officially explained as a meteor, many believe it was an alien spacecraft, and comparisons are often drawn to the Roswell incident. Another similar example is the Presque Isle State Park incident. This sighting involved 4 young people who reported seeing an unidentified flying object land on the beach in Erie, Pennsylvania. The craft allegedly had 2 humanoid beings near it. The case was even investigated by the US Air Force as part of Project Blue Book, their official UFO investigation project. So it seems that Penn State and its surroundings have been home to many mysterious sightings over the years. Perhaps the strange figure seen in this photo adds another layer to an already rich paranormal heritage.
Well, I know for a fact that I have heard many of the things in regards to Penn State and Gettysburg in general. And, these are large areas steeped in history. I mean, if you think about it, Pennsylvania was home not only to Civil War battles, but also Revolutionary War. Because remember, a lot of those were more around the Northeast and things like that. A lot of those battles and things like that. Plus, we also have more of the run-ins with European settlers and Native Americans, but I digress on that. But this, this photo, right? This photo right here. We're going to focus on that more than we are going to focus on Pennsylvania right now. That photo, y'all, somebody was trolling that person real good. That was just, in my opinion, it looked like maybe a case of pareidolia for the tree itself. But if you look at how thin the tree is, I'm going to say it's a cardboard cutout or a wood cutout. I mean, you've got art students and things like that. I know Penn State ain't just dealing with anything besides art, right? So you could have people setting up things for art projects and stuff like that and forgot to take it down, or they were going to come back and things like that. So here, another case of misidentification, if we want to say that, or these people here who took the picture could have set it up and just said, hey, what do y'all think about this? Simply put, there's nothing here that's more than just a piece of wood. All right? Y'all agree with me on that? If you don't agree with me, leave it in the comments below and tell me what y'all think about this. But right now, I'm really, really, really going for wood cutout with this. So let's move on.
This short reel was uploaded to Facebook by Chilling Scary. Take a look at what it shows.
Yeah,
What is it, JR?
I have no clue.
Is it not birds?
I don't think so.
The video, supposedly captured somewhere in North Carolina, shows something rather large that seems to surface from beneath the waves. The object then proceeds to move towards the left of frame at a considerable speed.
What the hell is that?
It seems to move far too quickly to be an animal, which raises the important question, what could it be? One theory has been explored that it's actually some sort of advanced technology, possibly even alien. Unidentified submerged objects, or USOs, is a term given to any mysterious object observed in water that defies immediate explanation, much like the aerial counterpart. These sightings often involve objects moving beneath the surface of the water or emerging from water bodies with capabilities beyond current human technology, such as incredible speed or agility underwater. Reports of USOs have been documented for decades, with observers ranging from naval personnel to ordinary civilians. The phenomena remains a subject of intrigue and speculation, fueling theories about advanced underwater civilizations or undisclosed military technology. Despite various investigations, USOs continue to be a perplexing mystery in the field of anomalous phenomena. In fact, this object looks very similar to another one we featured in a video a while ago. This one was filmed from two different angles, somewhere off the coast of Los Angeles. In this video, we see yet another example of a similar object. This clip was uploaded to the famous ufologist Jeremy Corbell's YouTube channel. In it, we see footage supposedly captured by the US Navy showing a spherical object entering the water.
Making sense of quite a bit of identified relatives. Sir. Yeah. Yeah, we have 31 knots of steam wind topside, gust of 40.
What was splashed? Mark bearing and range.
So what do you think these strange objects could be? Is it really possible they're some sort of alien tech? Or is there another more earthly explanation? Love to hear your theories on these strange sightings in the comments down below.
Yeah,
What is it, JR?
I have no clue.
Is it not birds?
I don't think so.
These videos here, I mean, it's interesting that people are actually paying attention to the world nowadays. What with the, with the phones, tablets, everything like that. A lot of people don't pay attention to what's surrounding them. I mean, I've seen several people walk through a side crosswalk from the sidewalk and nearly get hit because either they're not paying attention or the car's not paying attention. At the end of the day, a lot of people are not paying attention to their surroundings. So it's good, to see people are paying attention to their surroundings. But honestly, the one from North Carolina, which was the original video of this, it is kind of far out into the ocean, a little bit more into the water. There are no naval bases in North Carolina, but there are naval bases in surrounding states, particularly Georgia has that naval base there. And this right here could be just a simple form of misidentification. You could had submarines going through and patrolling, not even for anything in particular, just doing their basic maneuvers and things like that. They do that. They make sure, everything's in working order for these submarines and things like that. So a lot of these unidentified submersible objects, or USOs as they were calling them, I think that's what it was, they could possibly be submarines, things like that. This case in point with this one right here, because you don't really see too much, just little black blob going across the screen, things like that. Is very hard to see because, as you can tell, it's pretty much far out there. I had to sit there and review this a couple of times just simply because I could not find what they were talking about until I looked at the horizon and saw that there was something black kind of moving across from right to left. But yeah, no, that right there, that could probably more than likely be a submarine. They also transport, just like ships, they'll sit there and transport submarines from one base to another. So, we're not going to go fully on details with that one. So we'll move on to the Los Angeles one. Granted, this one is a little bit closer to the shore, but it's still really hard to make out because you can tell this person was probably looking out a hotel window and saw something out in the ocean. So this one is a little bit tougher to see. I'm not too sure on how far you got to go out into the Pacific Ocean to get to deep water, but I do know I've heard stories of how great white sharks and everything can get closer and closer to the shore as opposed to maybe Atlantic Ocean. So I think it's a little bit deeper and things like that. I do know because, it's home to Mariana Trench and everything like that. So I believe that Pacific Ocean is a bit deeper. So I don't know where the shelf comes into play there, where it can just drop off from the shore and everything. So I'm not too sure with that, but it is a little bit stranger than the North Carolina one, so I'll give it that much. And in all honesty, a lot of these, especially when it comes from civilians and everything like that, I kind of take them with a grain of salt, just simply because we could have military maneuvers and just transportations of like submersibles and things like that along our shoreline, which makes sense. I mean, there's even other countries' submarines who do come close to our shores. Case in point, I think a few years back when we had more of the, I think, startup with the restarting of the Cold War possibility between us and Russia. I think this was back in like the 2010s and everything like that. I'll just put it that way. I can't remember the exact time. But there was times where there would be Russian submarines closer to the shoreline, especially over there on the Pacific Ocean. We can go back all the way to World War II as well, where we had enemy submersibles closer to the shores than regular civilians even know. I mean, there was a lot of them, especially patrolling on that California border and things like that. So there's a history of, submarines, ours, and other people's who come close to our shoreline and could possibly be misidentified by the regular civilians of the country. So those I take with a grain of salt. The other one with the Navy and things like that, now those I tend to pay more attention to, just simple fact of it being the Navy, and they can be able to identify this. They understand, they have a working knowledge of their own movements, I guess you could say. But other than that, I really feel that maybe they just caught a submarine in a few of them, with the exception of the Navy photo there. Now that one was interesting. I'd like to know more about that and see a little bit more about that. Anyway, I done sat there and ran about this. Let's move on.
This next Facebook reel was posted to Terrified Vids. Watch carefully and see if you can spot anything creepy. The doll's head seems to move all by itself. Also, pay attention to the boy on the right's reaction. He also seems to notice it. While it's difficult to know if the doll's head really does move by itself in this clip, one thing's for sure. If I was the child's parent, I'd be keeping a very close eye on that creepy doll.
I think it's funny he didn't mention that it was actually a Chucky doll, so that's just a creepy doll. Anyway, so this one here is a little strange, and the boy's face, he does look like, okay, you got to be kidding me. Did you see what I just saw? That's the type of look he had on his face. It was, kind of creepy, but what I found intriguing with this video clip is the fact that when the little girl's, she's moving the doll around and she's got a book in her hand and everything like that, when she turns her head to look down at the book, that's when the doll's head turns. Now, I don't know about y'all, if y'all have any memories of things like this and everything like that, but as a kid, you got your dolls or you got your action figures, things like that. And you reading a book, getting ready for bedtime and things like that. You go with your teddy bear, things like that. You have the book in your hand, especially sometimes it's when your parents wanted you to focus on the reading aspect of everything, learning how to read and everything. So you have your little teddy bear, you have your little book, and then what you do is, half the time when a lot of children, I can kind of have some memories of myself doing it. I've also seen children do this as well, that you want the doll to pay attention to. It's like you're reading to the teddy bear, the doll, whatever it is you have. So you make it look like you turned them a little bit. And if you notice, the little girl's hand is at the shoulder of the Chucky doll. So it could have been just a little bit of pressure she might have had, because I've seen these dolls before. His head, you can turn it and manipulate things like that, so where it looks like it's turned to look one way and everything. So she might have just manipulated it with her hand to turn the head like it's going to be looking at the book as well. So she's reading the Chucky. This is what I'm getting for it. It looks creepy, and the poor little kid, he looks like, okay, am I crazy? Or are you seeing this too? I feel bad for him and everything. But I just feel like the explanation is the little girl manipulated her hand to make it look like the Chucky doll is turning to look at the book while she's reading to it. Simple as that. If any of y'all think of something different, maybe y'all think this might be real, let me know down in the comments when we can have a discussion on it. All right, let's move on to the next one, shall we?
Viewer Karen Rice noticed that something unnerving had occurred in her barn. She decided to share the experience with our Slapped Ham official community over on Facebook. The footage, recorded in March of 2023, clearly shows something odd happening. A saddle and pad suddenly appear on an empty saddle rack, and a bridle mysteriously repositions itself on the rack, all within a room that was supposedly securely locked and deadbolted. Karen explains that this event is not an isolated incident. Their security cameras frequently activate during the night, often coinciding with their horses exhibiting signs of distress. The barn, a new structure built in 2022, seems to be the focal point of unexplained occurrences that have both baffled and alarmed its owners. However, it's important to note that these clips don't have timestamps on them. This means that someone could have easily tampered with the footage. So as always, I'll leave this up to you, the viewers, for final judgment.
I'm really glad that Callan pointed out the fact that there was no timestamps, because I was actually going to bring this up myself on this. As you can see, there is no timestamp whatsoever on this video right here. I mean, I checked every single corner, and there is no blurred image to indicate time blurring where somebody took out the time frame, which we've seen in a couple of other ones. That can also cause issues where you can edit these type of things. So if you don't have a timestamp, it's really hard to actually sit there and say that yes, this happened, or no, this didn't happen. So here I will say that there was probably some editing with it, just simply because of the way it kind of seems to flow. You see what you get what I'm trying to get at. The flow of the video when these occur just seems a little stilted and stuttered, you know what I mean? And then it just freezes. So this is an area that also doesn't have anything really moving. There's no fans, there's no air conditioners, there's no animals in general, no bug going across the screen, things like that. So we can't tell for certain that this wasn't paused, that it wasn't edited then paused to show that this is, being manipulated in any other way besides possibility of paranormal, So, I mean, these type of videos, like I said before, I take these with a grain of salt, just simply because there's no timestamp that can indicate that there's a constant flow of time on it, and so they can be easily manipulated. Let's move on to the next one, shall we?
This next photo was uploaded to Facebook by a woman named Lisa. Lisa says that back in 2018, she and her husband embarked on a city tour. After returning home, they reviewed their photos and were startled to discover images of what looked like glowing human figures next to trees. However, according to Lisa, there were no other people present at the time this photo was taken. Furthermore, a local resident confirmed that there are no ground lights in that area, deepening the mystery. Taken on an iPhone 5 without flash, the photo defies easy explanation. As usual, the community offered their thoughts on what the photo might actually show. Some suggested angels, others ghosts. One even suggested it might have been a coven of dancing witches. However, the most perplexing aspect of the photo still remains. Why couldn't Lisa and her husband see the glowing figures at the time the photo was taken? Love to hear your thoughts on this bizarre photo down below.
Now, do y'all see what I'm seeing with this one? Obviously, it has rained previously. As you can see, a little bit of shimmer and shine on the asphalt over in front in the foreground of the picture. But let's go a little bit even closer. Now, just take a look at this. He stated it was on an iPhone 5 without flash. this actually, I have seen pictures from iPhone 5s without flash and things like that. This looks a bit more distorted, especially for 2018. If y'all really want to know, this here is, we're looking at a reflection. That's simply put, it's looking at it like a reflection to me. Just unfocus yourself a little bit while looking at the picture, and you'll see a little bit of extra, like, you'll look at extra images. You get what I'm saying, right? If you look at the left hand bottom corner, and you'll see there's like a little, it looks like a flare up of light right there too. This person was not walking when they took this picture. To me, it looks as if they took it from either a vehicle or in a store, because this is being a picture produced through a glass pane. This isn't anything of like, oh, I'm walking on the sidewalk and I'm just going to take a nice little picture. No, this is more taken from inside something, and you're viewing it from glass. There, like I said before, it obviously looks like it has rained previously in the picture, so we may be looking at water spots on the window, reflecting and refracting light coming from somewhere else within the area that she's located or he's located, whichever one took the picture, if it was her or her husband or anything like that. But we're looking at light refraction here. Simply put, this is not anything paranormal, anything like that. This is just a random occurrence of having a camera go and take a picture through a like lucky shot, so to say, of water particles and light being reflected through the water itself, and it's going to create something like that. So let's move on to the next one, shall we?
In this bizarre image uploaded to Reddit by user AnyCharge2010, we see a man exiting a building that's under construction. However, it's not the man that's of interest, but rather the large glowing disc that's appeared just above his head. Several viewers jokingly commented that the camera holder had just discovered a quest giver, like in a video game. The poster themselves suggested the possibility that it could be a halo or some sort of orb. In cultural and artistic contexts, a halo often refers to a radiant circle or disc of light depicted around the heads of deities, saints, and other holy figures in art, signifying sanctity, divine origin, or an enlightenment. This symbolism is common across various religions and mythologies. A more grounded explanation suggests it could just be lens flare captured by the camera. So what do you think? Has the camera captured the patron saint of renovation on camera? Or is the strange anomaly just a coincidence of light and timing? Let me know in the comments down below.
The patron saint of renovations. Now, Kylan had a good one with that one. That one was kind of funny right there. But this right here, I know some of y'all probably have done renovations, maybe done some construction or something like that. Now, since they have the insulation and they've already got the roof and everything up with this, it looks more like it's going to be maybe they're not quite finished with the siding and everything. So there's no electricity in this place. You still got to do the wiring and everything like that. Some of y'all, if y'all work construction, you'll know what I'm talking about right here. So what this gentleman probably already has on him is a headlamp. So, you know, he can be able to see inside the area, so he'll be able to inspect what needs to be taken care of, or maybe he was working and putting up some of the wiring or whatever he's doing. But as a headlamp, he might not have even turned it off because he might be going to grab something and coming back in. And so that's creating a lens flare it's the timing and everything, like he was saying before, the timing and the lighting is just right to create this type of orb-like image. So, yeah, at the end of the day, this is just a gentleman with a headlamp on because he's got to have both hands working in construction. And I tell you, those headlamps, they are ingenious. If you need to use both hands for something, I suggest you get one because they're great. I've had issues sometimes when I was having to do something with my vehicle, and I need both hands to be able to hold something, and a headlamp comes in handy. Besides the point, I'm not trying to hawk headlamps. I'm just saying, if you need them, they're perfect. Anyway, that's all it is. It's just an opportune moment for this to happen. This wasn't something you can really plan or anything like that. It's just with the lighting, and it had to be just the right type of timing with it because he's coming right outside that door. And there's still a little bit of shadow and things like that. And then you got that play with the morning. It looks like a morning sun to me by the shadows and everything. It looks like it's a morning sun. So you had like a perfect combination to have this orb image or this halo-like image on it. But, that's pretty much it. It's the headlamp, timing, and a picture. Perfect combo to create the picture we have here. But this clip is the last clip of this episode. Now, I gave y'all a little bit of time to think about it and everything like that. So what I'd like to know is what y'all think. Should I go and, along with these reactions that I'm doing with Slapped Hand videos, and I'm still looking for other paranormal videos that we can react to. Maybe I've been kind of looking towards some of the ones that have like camping incidents and things like that, give it a little bit more of a haunted type feel. Most people don't like the woods, so make it a little bit creepier anyway. But what I got to know is, what do y'all think? Should I maybe try to do some episodes and go to some haunted locations and videotape for y'all and see what we get? Maybe we can find something, maybe we don't, but we have fun along the way. How's that sound? Leave it in the comments below what y'all think, if I should do it or not. Because I'll continue with these reactions. But if y'all want me to do something a little bit different now, let me know. Perfect. Leave it in the comments. And I just want to thank everybody who has liked and subscribed up to my channel and liked the videos in the past. Just keep it coming, guys. Keep it coming. I want to thank y'all for liking and subscribing. And if you haven't liked and subscribed this video, I suggest you do it. Maybe take a little time right now. Hit that little button for the thumbs up. Hey, if you don't like it, leave it a thumbs down. Doesn't bother me any. Gives me more reasons to learn and grow. So with that, I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.